Hey, how's it going? It's Dalton with Pike North Property Group. And before I get into the weekly market update, I'm going to turn it over to Dalton, who went for a run in Irving. I'm not going to say any more than that. Just go ahead and watch it. There's some fun facts in there, fun things to see, and we'll be back with the market report.
Hey, what's going on? It's Dalton from Pike North Property Group, and today we're in Las Colinas. Las Colinas is kind of like this residential and professional community in Irving. Irving is right next to Dallas, and it's got some pretty cool features. I'm going to show you a couple of the features today. And one of them is actually right behind me. We'll talk about that a little more in a second, but it's the Mustangs of Las Colinas, and it's like the second largest equestrian statue or art installation in America. Actually, let me look it up. Okay, I'm going to read verbatim. Located near the path, this is one of the world's largest equestrian sculptures featuring 9 bronze Mustangs galloping across a granite stream. You know, obviously I've seen it before. I think it's pretty cool. So I'm going to show you a close-up, and then we are going to go for a run. Yeah. All right, so plan B. I'm going to tell you a little bit about Las Colinas right now. It's a population of about 37,000 people. It is a stone's throw from the Toyota Music Factory, and I think it's got a seating capacity of 8,000, and major concerts and stuff are hosted there. I think it's the Alamo Draft House. So there's some pretty cool, you know, nightlife and restaurants around here. The demographic is, you know, a little bit more, I guess you would say, young professional, and it is really accessible to the city. Now, the city of Dallas. Now, the reason why I have decided to tell you the facts about Las Colinas is because apparently I'm not the only one who likes to meet up by the Mustangs of Las Colinas. Over to my right now, I've got there's a group of people who are, you know, stretching, probably getting ready to go for a run. So in order for me to get a cleaner, more enjoyable shot of the statues for you, I do have to wait here just a second while that clears out. But that gave me an opportunity to tell you a little bit more about the area. And it's a large area. There is the epicenter. Matter of fact, I'm just going to swivel the camera around. I don't know if you can see in the distance, but that's kind of the epicenter. That's where the Lake Carolyn thing is. But there's a huge swath of land that is more residential in nature as well. And I think I'm getting close to being able to show you the statues. So let's go ahead and do that now. So that you can get a sense for how big these statues are, I'm going to walk over to one of them. So, for reference, on a good day, I think it's Wednesday today. So on a good day, I am between 6 and 6'1", 210 pounds, and just look how massive this horse is. I mean, I don't know much about horses, but I don't think they actually get that big. Check out these stairs. This is cool. You can actually walk across it, just like the horses are doing. Now that is cool. Look at the detail. and I don't know exactly. Oh, there's a colt getting into the water for the first time. So I don't know like what exactly this was supposed to commemorate, or if it was supposed to commemorate anything, or if it's just there just for art's sake, because sometimes art does exist just for the sake of existing, which is cool. But there you have it. Okay, I'm gonna do a river crossing. And we're back. All right, I'm gonna cross the street, and then I will see you on the running path for a 3-mile run. All right, so I don't know about you, but this looks just a little bit longer than 3 miles, but we're gonna run it and find out either way, because that's what I said I was gonna do. And just a little bit of background, I used to run a lot. I used to just get off of work and run like literally a half marathon just for funsies, but that was in my late 20s. I don't really do that anymore. I think I'd run maybe like a 1.5 miles or something, call it good. Head inside. This is gonna be 3 miles. I haven't really done that a whole lot, but it's not something I'm afraid of. So let's do it. All right, so filming and running. It's definitely not something I've done before. So still kind of figuring this out as I go. So far so good. Looks pretty cool. Turn around to you. Okay, so we are already seeing some indiscrepancies here. Maybe I'm no longer on the right trail, because it said that it's 3 miles and it's 12 feet wide all the way across. Now, it would be really inconvenient if you had planned to push a 12-foot wide stroller around the 3 miles, because it really does narrow and you would be completely out of luck. Okay, there's more to go. Let's keep running. All right, so these shots are always a pain in the butt, because you have to pretend that you've got a camera person, but then you have to go back and pick up the camera. So I'm gonna do one more time and actually be professional about it. All right, so that was the one more time. I'm gonna continue on with the run, and we'll see you in a second. Moment of truth. Do I think that this path is actually 3 miles long? Do I think it's longer? Do I think it's shorter? I don't know. It looks a little bit like I'm approaching a turnaround point, or where the loop goes to the other side. But here's the thing. There could be more distance on this side than the other side.
or sorry, on the other side than on the side that I just ran. So could it still be longer? Could be, but I'm pretty sure they measured more accurately than my pace, right? So anyway, here's a little waterfall at the end for you. Okay, I think that I have got some distance to cover. So, with that said, I think I'll shut down the camera for a little bit and just get to running. Okay, I think I can say pretty confidently that I'm now at the very least halfway done with the run, and I think I'm gonna go ahead and button it up until I get done with the rest of it. I think they are accurate. I think it's about a 3-mile run. Okay, so here is the update. Way over there by the Wells Fargo building, and then in the distance, I can see it with my eye, but I don't think you can see it. There are some construction trucks. I'm gonna have to look that up later, actually. And then a crane, not one of the huge skyscraper cranes, but anyway, there's construction going on. So I made it all the way across the lake. Found out that I couldn't keep going over to that bridge over there. So I had to turn all the way around. I think at the end of the day, this is gonna be like a 5-mile run. Good thing it's not my first run, and also thank goodness for the cloud cover, because this would be wretched in direct sunlight. There's Marriott over there. Okay, I'm gonna keep going and just finish this thing out.
All right, so future me is back in the studio. It is not quite time for the weekly market update, but I think that did kind of end up turning into a 5 or 6 mile run. I didn't know that there was construction later on in the trail, and then I was gonna have to turn back around and find that out the hard way. I thought I had some extra footage. Turns out that's all the footage I had. But yeah, still well worth the run. I'll probably run that again, especially now that I know where I'm going and whatnot. But yeah, it's a big place. It's a cool place, and I did get a couple of shots that I'll put in this little film here. I don't know, guess which one is gonna make it into the gallery. Though the only way to find out which one of these made it into the Pike North Property Group gallery is to go over to the website and see for yourself. Anyway, here they are, and the next time you see me, I'll be in a suit and we'll be doing the weekly market update. All right, thanks for watching, and this was In My Way. right, welcome back. Isn't Irving kind of neat? It's kind of a cool area. Anyway, since I do the market report weekly, I'm not going to read through every single stat. I'm just going to read through the things that I think are interesting, and I will tell you why. One such stat is the median price of new listings is down to $439,000 thereabouts. Back in early April, Friday, April 3rd, the median price of new listings was $455,000. So that lets you know that if the new listing prices are starting to come down, sellers are starting to pay attention to the affordability concerns of potential buyers. Now, I think it's still ever so slightly a seller's market, but gone are the days of the huge dollar amounts for homes. And I think we are starting to find some middle ground between sellers and buyers. Price per square foot is holding steady at right around $199. And again, this is in the Dallas, Fort Worth, and Arlington area. And the average days on market is at 99. Remember, it was at around 109. So the average, what that means is that some of the outliers that were taking a little bit longer to sell are starting to come down a little bit. Now, the median days on market is still 49. So that has pretty much flatlined. It's not budging, but some of the outlying properties, it looks like, are starting to get snatched up a little bit. The percentage of homes that have had a price decrease, the percentage has gone up. So in one of the videos, I think it was 42%. It went up to 44%. Now it's at 45%. 45% of listings on the market have experienced a price decrease. So it again just proves that people are starting to understand that there is a housing affordability concern out there on the market. And the last thing that I will talk about is the median rent, and that is at $2,395. Again, that's Dallas, Fort Worth, and Arlington. And the median rent is going up. It's ticking up almost week over week at this point. So locking in a mortgage, I think it might actually be a good thing. Rent kind of takes me into a commercial trend that I've been seeing, and that is rise of the owner-user model. What that means is that whereas commercial tenants or commercial, property users, if you will, were renting a lot, they are now starting to purchase. And that is due a little bit to cost control, like I mentioned, lock in a mortgage, and then also building equity. So over time, property value goes up, you build some equity. So you're not just doing cash flow via the revenue that you're getting from the business, you're also getting some equity in there as well. And then operational control, it allows the owner user to use the asset in the best and highest means that they would like to use it without being concerned with any negative impact to their tenant status. That's it for the market update, short and sweet. I'll see you next week for next week's adventure as well as market trends.